In this lesson, we're going to take a look at some more examples of simple probability. These are actually specific examples from the enrichment worksheet that was homework. So if you take a look at the first picture here, we have this picture of these cards. So we have to take a look at the cards, and based on the cards that are in this sample, decide what the probabilities are going to be. So the first one, letter A, is the probability of getting a 1. Well, if you look at the picture, there is 1, okay, out of all the cards. So there's only 1 out of, we need to know what the total is. So I'm going to count the total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards in this sample. So the probability of getting a 1 is 1 out of 10. If you divide that, you get 0.1, which is the same as 10% probability. All right, so if we take a look at letter B, what's the probability of getting a 2? Well, if you look in the sample, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 2s in the deck. So there are 4 chances of getting a 2 out of 10 total cards. This does simplify to 2/5. And if you divide that, it's 0.4, which is the same as 40%. Okay, so, all right, let's take a look at letter C, the probability of getting a 3. So if we take a look at this, there is 1, 2, 3 3s in this deck out of a total of 10 cards. That does not simplify, and if you divide, you get 0.3, which is the same as 30%. All right, the probability of getting a 4. Well, there's 2 4s in this deck out of 10 possibilities, and this simplifies to 1/5, which if you divide is 0.2, or the same as 20%. All right, letter E, the probability of not getting a 4. So we have to look at all the cards that are not 4s. Well, there are 2 4s in the deck, so that means there are 8 cards that are not 4s out of the 10 possibilities. And this simplifies to 4/5, which if you divide is 0.8, or 80%. All right, if you take a look at the next example, the question is, what is the probability of not getting a 1? Well, there's only 1 card in the deck, 1, in the deck. So that means there are 9 cards that are not 1s out of the 10 possibilities. So this is 9/10 or 0.9, which is 90%. All right, the probability of not getting a 3. So if you take a look at this, there are 3 3s in the deck, which means there are 7 cards that are not 3s out of the 10 possibilities. This is the same as 0.7 or 70%. And the last example, the probability of not getting a 2. Well, there are 4 2s in the deck, so there are 6 cards that are not 2s out of 10 possibilities. This simplifies to 3/5, which is the same as 0.6 or 60%. So those are some examples of how to work out those types of problems. Let's worksheet. So the back says, use this sample to predict how many white beads are in the bag. All right, so if you take a look at the sample here, let's say they reached in the bag and they pulled this out. This is a lot like capture, recapture. So if this is the sample they pulled out, they have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 beads in their sample. And they want to know how many white beads there are. So if we count out the white beads, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 white beads in the bag. So there are, in the sample. So there are 4 white beads in the sample out of a total of 10. So we're going to write a proportion here. So how many white beads would there be out of a total of 1,000 beads in the bag? So once you have this, you just do your cross products. So you get 4,000 equals 10x, and then you're going to divide both sides by 10. So x equals, these zeros cancel, 400 divided by 1 is 400. So we would predict that there would be 400 white beads in the bag. Let's do one more example like that. So if we take a look at this sample here, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 total beads in this sample. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them are white. So 7 white beads out of 12 means there would be how many white beads out of 3,120? So again, we're going to do the cross product. So 7 times 3,120 gives you, I'm running out of space here, 21,840, which equals, this would be 12x. We're going to divide both sides by 12. And we end up with x equals 1,820 white beads. That would be what we would predict. So those are some examples of how to use that sample to predict how many would be in a bigger group.